A wonderful good morning to everyone. Bitcoin at 68,600 US dollars. And I don't even know why I'm in such a good mood right now, but the deadline expires today. So yeah, let's hope for the best. No one can know whether the deadline might be extended again because US President Trump may delay attacks on Iranian infrastructure if he sees real signs of a deal. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Welcome back to the shit show. It's Tuesday and there's still nothing new, except that Bitcoin has just wiped out all its gains from yesterday again. Yeah, $1,600 dump overnight. Nothing really spectacular because if we take a quick look at the volume, it's terrible. We're only at 10 million right now. Yesterday, as I posted in the group, at times we were at 20, 30, even 40 million in sales, even when they dropped. That means the market makers, or rather, in my opinion, the market participants are still just waiting. Everything is pointing to tonight. Either the deadline will be extended again, and the US will make a complete fool of itself, or the deadline won't be extended and things will escalate and the markets will drop. Those are the possibilities we have today. Now, in any case, let's take a look at everything. Before we get started, as always, feel free to give the video a like. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And of course, feel free to join the free Telegram talk and signal group. If you're interested in updates, news, and signals, you're welcome to join. You'll find the link for that for free down in the video description. And if you're still looking for an exchange where you can trade everything we discuss here, you can also sign up with my partner exchange WEEX. At the moment, you can still get VIP 2 status for free for 1 month during the next 9 days if you register using the link below in the video description or in the comment section. So I'd say let's get started. Oh, and by the way, tonight at 7 p.m. there's another live stream. We're going to go through with it anyway. Trump insists on almost opening as he escalates Iran freeds. It's still the same story, sorry guys, but there's really nothing new. Yesterday, it was said, okay, apparently they're working on a peace agreement again. Then it turned out it was all just bullshit again, just to push the markets up and lower the oil price. What happened? The markets went up, the oil price went up, government bonds went up. Yeah, in any case, there's nothing new in that regard. Nothing new. There are just new attacks from Iran again. They attacked a chemical plant in Saudi Arabia again. I think it was BSF's. Hey, another new shortage incoming. Let's see. And in any case, the deadline expires this evening. The futures in that regard are red for now. Oil up, S&P futures down. That's good. At least it's good news for everyone who's short. And of course, I also hope that Bitcoin goes down a bit more as well. The biggest problem we still have is the oil price, and that's at $115 per barrel. That's too much in the long run, at least for inflation. At the Fed, there's no prospect of change at all since interest rates are staying as they are, which makes no sense whatsoever. So we all know that this is absolute bullshit. As long as the oil price keeps rising, we're going to have major problems here. The next big problem, which I already mentioned in the intro, is this one. The bonds. Look, what is that? That looks like the biggest scam pump ever. These are the 5-year bonds, catastrophic. That will probably really be some kind of scam wick, but fine. The 5-year bonds are still above 4%, the 10-year bonds are just under 4.4%. And then let's take a look over at our friends in Japan. How are things looking there at the moment? The sale of 30-year Japanese bonds is seeing lukewarm demand ahead of the Iran deadline. Hey, nobody wants Japanese government bonds. So how is the yen reacting to that? Let's take a quick look as well. How does it look? US DJPY is still in the intervention zone for now, and the yen still looks catastrophically bad. That means in the end, everything has actually gotten even worse in the last 24 to 48 hours. Because today the deadline expires. That means energy infrastructure and possibly other factories could be attacked by the USA and Iran, which in turn could lead to turbulence in the markets or even more oil shortages, which would drive the oil price even higher and of course cause Bitcoin to crash as well. I think there will be a decision today. If we take a deeper look into the whole situation, we ultimately see that yesterday there was a bit of spot demand, not exorbitant, but more futures were traded again. That means in the end, there was much, much more demand for futures. Let's look at the heat map. We still have the 2 clusters, and we can quickly take another look at the heat map here on high block and take another look at the whole topic. And in the end, we see the same game there. Absolutely nothing has changed here, and that still annoys me a bit. So the liquidity is thin. Maybe a small cluster at 73, that's it. Then another one at 64, 60, and 53. Those are the only clusters we currently have to work with. The funding rates are rising again, and the futures positions are also increasing again. For me, that's more of a sign that What we saw yesterday already looks like a retest of our possible bear flag. Depending on how you draw it, you can draw it as a bear flag or a rising wedge, whatever you prefer. In any case, what we saw yesterday was a negative retest without significantly high volume. That's not a good sign. The futures are red, as I said. Japan, weak demand, bonds remain high, and the oil price is rising. Yes, let's move over to the dollar. The dollar is also rising. These are all negative signs. Unless Trump pulls some surprise tonight and says, hey, it was all just a joke, we're not attacking, we just wanted an extended Easter weekend, we just wanted to confuse you again. Actually, we have no intention of attacking you at all. Then the Christmas bank will come at Christmas and attack you, or whatever, some kind of crap like that will happen. And yes, let's just wait and see what happens tonight. I think tonight is not necessarily going to be boring. So, trading the markets today, just a tip from me on the side. Don't do it. Just watch. Ethereum is completely the same as yesterday again. XRP is like yesterday. Solana is just dropping off again. The markets are still, look, we have no volume in the markets. The bond yields are too high. The dollar is rising. This is not the sentiment needed to get back into bull run mode. Only a 180-degree turn, or as we say in Germany, a 360-degree turn. That would be the only thing to turn the whole situation around now, I'd say. So we could say, okay, we can somehow get back into bull mode. But the problem is that government bonds are still very high and interest rates remain very high. That means we need cheap money for the markets to push them upwards. That's why my scenario for Bitcoin still remains that it will head below 60,000 or at least into the 60,000 region. It wouldn't surprise me if all this crap escalates tonight and we see a drop, at least for a day or two, maybe until the end of the week before everything is fine again. Peace, joy, and pancakes. And Trump, who knows, does whatever comes next. All right, Cuba is next. So get ready for that. Let's quickly move over to the Forex markets. As I said, the dollar is still above 100. That's actually a sign for continued selling stocks because the dollar has value again. That means the dollar has regained a bit of value. And in that regard, I still assume that we should see this number up here. If the US gets attacked somehow now, I believe the dollar will get another boost upwards and then reach our Japan intervention zone. And then also Japan will probably intervene in some way. You really have to watch closely how USD JPY and of course the JPY itself behave then, how it stands overall. Otherwise, gold remains kind of stable, silver remains stable, no real outlooks. I think we'll see a move there as well if the deadline possibly expires tonight. If some kind of attack does happen, I rather expect that gold and silver will also be sold off further at first, that stocks will be sold off, that everything will somehow be liquidated, the dollar will go to the moon, and government bonds will go to the moon. And then we'll have to wait 2 or 3 days before possibly getting back into position somehow. The same goes, of course, for the stock markets, which are slightly in the red again in pre-market trading. The S&P 500 also hasn't made a higher high. Somehow yesterday or something like that, meaning the futures. We have to wait and see. As I said, I'm still bearish. You should notice that. The volatility index is still around 24, so there's no relief there either. If something happens tonight, it's going to shoot to the moon again. So you have to say it's a 50-50 situation to trade the market today or to do anything at all. The only positive thing would have to be United Health. Just as a little tip, it went up 11% overnight. I think that should be visible in the futures if I'm not mistaken. No, actually not. Okay. No, definitely United Health. Maybe I can still get the whole... Yeah, here. Well, United Health is... I can't find it now. Whatever. In any case, take a look at United Health. I don't have it on my short list right now. I should probably add it in. Up 11% overnight. Maybe take some profits. Because if we see some kind of attack tonight, then I think everything will drop a bit, whether it's Alphabet, which has just staged a good rally again after the ABC correction, or Amazon, which actually still has a bit of room to run, but there the momentum might be starting to fade. Circle has hit the buy zone, but I also think we could go a bit lower here. So hold tight, don't do anything until Trump starts spouting some nonsense again, and keep an eye on the news. I know it's annoying, we're actually not news traders, we are chart traders, but what else can you really do at the moment? Otherwise, just wait, and tomorrow is a new day. And let's hope it doesn't escalate, and maybe we'll finally get back to normal markets. I still don't really believe it. Otherwise, we'll talk again this evening at 7 p.m. Live stream here on YouTube, on Kick, on Twitch. I'd be happy if you joined. And maybe by this evening, we'll have some new information. Who knows? And I'll have the United Half chart ready for you then, for sure. Unfortunately, that's all I can offer you right now. I'm sorry. But it's still the same news. Sorry about that. We'll catch up again this evening, fresh and ready, and check everything out. Until then, ciao, ciao. And as always, stay cool.